Sorry, I'm just getting that starting now, and then I can bring it up. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Well, and as you're
Hello.
Missing
pulling that
Arena,
up,
good to see you.
Hi,
Been a
Jeff.
long
Good to see
time.
you. I know. I was MIA for a long time.
I just finished a bunch of keynotes for kids, so I'm hobbling trying to get my meeting set up back here. Literally just
But
finished a speech 4 minutes ago at 4 p.m. Central.
nice.
Coming
And
in
what
hot.
I have, Grant, you want me to
Yes.
fill the
Yep.
fill the at-home viewers in on what?
Yeah.
One of the features that Obvio has, which is unique and very cool, is kind of built-in question moderation system. And the way that it works is you create a form in Obvio. In fact, it is what we are. It is the way that we are asking questions in this event. There's a button on the dashboard that says "Ask a Question." It brings up a little modal, little pop-up window where it says "What's your question?" You fill it in. That's really a form in Obvio, and that information goes into the form data. And when you go into the form system in Obvio, there's actually a way that you can pull up moderation. And what moderation shows, in fact, Grant has it on his screen right now. What moderation does is two different things. The first is that you see those responses to the forms in a 3-column format where you can manage them. So the first column basically is all the incoming questions. The second column would be the approved questions, the ones you are planning to answer. And then the final column is essentially the ones that are on deck, the question that is being asked. And you can just drag them across. So and at an upcoming event, I'll have someone who is the question asker, the question manager, and they'll be the one who's basically curating the questions. They're choosing which questions are we going to answer and in what order. They can kind of stack, drag, and drop those around. The other thing that this question moderation system allows for is each of those columns has 3 dots at the top where you can click on it and either open it in a full screen view or a lower third view. And Grant is showing that right now under form moderation. Here's the 3-column format. And if you click on the 3 dots, you can view that. And so this final column, the one that's on deck, that's the question that's being asked at the moment. And so if you bring up the lower third version of that, it's going to show that on a screen, a little bit like the emoji screen. It's kind of designed for a back-end production system. It's just a black screen that has the lower third with the questions, and you can change how that looks. But essentially, it would allow you to bring that into a production system, key out the black so that would become transparent, and then you just have the lower third, which you could then show on screen. And so I'm working with some folks that are putting some looks together for an upcoming show, and we wanted to have a sample of what this overlay would look like. So rather than going to build my own system and putting in some quick sample data, I knew that we are using this very exact system in this call. So I've asked Grant, and he's graciously offered to show that lower third view and take a screenshot of it. So now I'll have a 16:9 template of kind of what to expect that we can build into our looks. So hopefully that makes sense. Have any of you guys used the question moderation system?
I haven't, but I have a question for you if you don't mind. Is it
Sure.
hard to train the moderator to do that? Is that something that like average bear can do, or we have to have someone who's kind of technical?
It's as technical as getting into the back end of Obvio and navigating your way around Obvio, right? So it's learnable, but it's not intuitive necessarily. Because like where you go to click to get into the moderation settings, but it's after that, once the page is open, it's just a matter of dragging and dropping. So it's a piece of cake from there.
Cool. I haven't used it. I've got some upcoming things that it might be great for though.
So Muddy, I've just posted that in the Zoom chat.
Great. Thank you.
And just when you you're playing around, as you know, like even though that is gray, that background there, it really will look black. And so that's a nice way of doing a luminance key. So you do a luminance key on that black, and then you've still kind of got black as your background, and that might be a way. And so then you can tweak that a little bit. You can bring that gray level right down. It's like about 10% or something gray, and it totally looks black, but it won't get keyed out. And so that's a way. And so generally, whatever system you're doing the keying in, whether that's in software or hardware, a luminance key will do a better job than a chroma key because of the data, the information that you have. There's more luminance information than there is color information, particularly about one color. And so even though it's green generally that we do, if you can do a luminance, you're better off doing it, and it'll be a little bit sharper technically. So that's a little bit of that. So yeah, you saw some of the changes that you could make. So cool.
That's great. Much appreciated.
No worries. Okay. We're going to get to Irina's question first. Let's have a look here. Get back to my questions.
Thanks for sharing that in the chat, Grant. Anyone that wants to answer my question, since it's posed there, feel free.
Yeah, that's right. I'll post
Everyone will have
everyone's.
that as their sample as they build their own.
Sorry, yeah, I
It's
should
really
have put
helpful to
Muddy's
see
back
the
there.
spacing. You're totally fine. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I could have put Muddy's back there. It was because I actually chose. It's one of the kind of cool things is that, as Muddy was saying, that you can choose whichever column you want to do as the stage output or the lower third. And so in the speed that I was doing it, I just chose the incoming column as the one that I had the lower third. So then Jeff posted, and so then it popped up because that was the one that was on top. So that's the way that worked. So Irina,
I can
would you review
explain before you won't understand what you're reading there, right?
Okay,
And of
go
course,
ahead.
Jeff left. That's funny because he's here. And I think he gave me the idea a long time ago, maybe a couple of years ago. He said that he's using, and by green room, I mean that when you give the, Jeff, do you remember I think it was you who said, you use the same link to everybody. So you just schedule people. I think you did that with schools, right? You would use the
For
same
meetings?
link, and they would all they would use the same link. So you wouldn't use separate magic links for everybody. So from that idea that you mentioned a long time ago, I am thinking, I am on a new school. I mean, I'm sure you've heard School, which is a platform, and I'm building a new community there, or just signed up to start building. And I'm thinking how I can communicate with Obvio or put together Obvio and my school community there, because yes, that's cool, right?
Okay.
Because so maybe I will just ask people from the school. We have live there itself, but Obvio, of course, it's so much superior. We know that, right? And so I'm thinking to do my Zoom meetings with people from the school on Obvio. So I could just give them the link and they would come, but just all logistics behind it, just brainstorming here.
Okay. So is there custom fields in school, as in, is it kind of like a CRM in that sense, or not?
No,
really? Okay.
No.
Okay.
And
That's
they don't
fine.
have email. So I don't think I have their emails. It's just the community. So they're inside of that container. I didn't look into emailing stuff yet, but they are on this platform. So when I post something, I will email, but through the platform. I'm not emailing them. It's the platform emails them.
Yep. Okay.
But it's not to everybody. It's just one button. You click after the post. I think it just asks you, do you want to email that notification? And the notification goes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you've got a couple of options, and this is sort of in general, this is what how we can get people into Obvio. So there's obviously there's a magic link which you're aware of, right? And so if you can't store that somewhere and show that in school, then we can rule that one out. There is, and now it depends. Once you get to this point, it depends whether you want people to go to the Obvio dashboard before they get into Zoom or not.
And
okay.
green room goes immediately, passes by the dashboard, right? That's
okay.
another point.
So the term that we use for that now is direct access, direct room access. If you see, which is not what you want, but I just want to, just so we get the names right. I'll just, and it just helps us eliminate the things that we don't want.
I missed several months, and I'm feeling like a dinosaur again, like last time.
You're all good. It won't take you long to catch up. So
history repeats itself.
So this is the direct room access. Now, what this does is, before we called it like a registration link, which was just confusing. So this is why we changed the name, direct room access. When you give that link to people, it takes them to a little page that asks for their first name, last name, email, and then they go straight into Zoom. So they do still see an Obvio page of sorts, because it is the like a login page, but it takes them straight to Zoom and not to the dashboard. So if you're wanting them to see the dashboard, then really there's two other options. I guess.
the password, right?
Yeah. So I generally, password is an option, but we would generally not suggest that anymore, because we have other ways of doing it. And so if we just look at, there's a couple of things. One thing is, I know what happened there. Have you? I don't know if Muddy or Jeff may have noticed this, but the scripts are running on that page now, and so it redirects, unfortunately. So if you have a link to go from the login page to the sign up page, then it will redirect, and it redirects in admin as well, which is a little bit annoying. Seems to be a newer thing.
I do have a script set up. Can you run that by me one more time, Grant, just as to what the problem might be? So
it's just on our end, the script is running in admin as well, and it didn't used to. And so when we go to the login page, see that? It just redirected.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a little bit annoying. We've got to look into that. It's a little bit tricky because it's already a hack or a customization, right? To use the script like that. So, but here's an option here for you, Irina, is that allow email only login. And so what that means is that you would still have everyone registered, but now you can just use the straight link, without any tokens or anything. It'll just be the subdomain and then Obvio. You send that to people, it'll go to the login page and it'll just ask for their email address. When they put their email address in, as long as that's an active attendee in Obvio, they will go to the dashboard. So that's quite a good sort of friction-free process of getting them to the dashboard. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So let me repeat again.
Yep.
I still need to, what do I give them? The Obvio what?
Which
link
event
Obvio?
have you got an event that's set up for this?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. Let me use.
So I would still need to have their emails and still have like active campaign to send them something.
If you did it this way, and really what it comes down to is how secure you need this process to be or would like it to be. And if it's not a massive issue, then you can use the sign up page. So the sign up page on Obvio will ask them for their first name, last name, and email, and then they'll join. And even if they are an existing attendee in Obvio, they will still get to the dashboard. And so that's the easiest way, because no matter how you're, and I'll show you that quickly, no matter how they're getting that link, they're going to get to the dashboard and they're going to get into Obvio. And so the only reason that if it's, they're paying thousands of dollars to be able to do this, and you don't want other random people to, that like they share it with their friends or whatever, and now they're able to get
that
in.
I wouldn't do. Yeah, no, those who pay thousands stay in another place on Obvio.
Okay.
So this is just from the platform, from the community. It's not the high ticket community.
Great. So the sign up would work fine then, right? So you would go to the design and sign up, you enable it, and now the the address you can copy here is just whatever your event is. So this is update.obvio/sign up.
Where did you copy the address?
Just over here.
I didn't realize sign up. I didn't know.
Copy sign up. Yeah. So now then they'll just have first name, last name, email, and then they'll go into the dashboard. And as I said,
so no password at all.
That's right. No password, and they simply if they are an attendee, then it will log them in as them. If they're not an attendee, it'll add them as an attendee in Obvio, and then they'll join.
Oh, so I don't need to know their emails in advance.
Correct.
Actually, that's the trick I'm trying to get to, how to collect the emails without making them to register somewhere officially. So I just say, okay, we're doing it here. So they put these credentials and email will be already in Obvio as my list.
Yep, exactly.
And then can I do this? Can I connect this part with my active campaign or not? Like we usually do in an event, attendees, active campaign. Do they go into your attendee event? Yeah, they do, right? Attendee page.
They go to the attendee page, but it won't synchronize back to. So what's happening is that when they sign up in Obvio, they're going directly to their details are going into Obvio. Obvio doesn't sync back to Active Campaign because it's a one-way train with our integrations. And so if you're wanting people to sign up, then you would have a sign-up form in Active Campaign that syncs them to Obvio. And then you now have a redirect link a magic link, and then that gives them access. But that doesn't sound like what you need. It's just my guess is that you want to make it as easy as possible to people to get from school into Obvio. The easiest way is sign up, and then after the fact, you can do an export of your attendees. And put them into Active Campaign, and now now you've got the complete picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sign up is the key. You enable that, and now and then you can customize this, of course, so do your logos and backgrounds and whatever you want on here, and you can customize what text is here and all of that. And so you make that nice.
On what page? I don't see your page. So on the login page?
I'm sorry. I just stopped it and then I started referencing it. Yeah, so just sign up, enabled. And so toggle the enable. And now you can customize all of this. So you could change the logo, the background, all the text, everything. Make all that nice, exactly the way you want it. And then once they hit, and you can change the button name as well, whatever you want it to be. Go take me to my dashboard. Sign up. Whatever. Sometimes it's like, do I just want login versus sign up because I don't want it to seem like they're signing up? Like it's all how whatever the use case is for you for your event. But you can name that button whatever you want. Once they click that, they'll end up on the dashboard. And so then at the dashboard now you can have your Zoom links and whatever else you want.
And if I want the easy way without dashboard, I could still do direct, what's the green direct thing? The green room direct access.
Yeah, not green room.
No green room.
No, as in we don't use that term.
Right.
But it's direct room access. So when I click on a room, I'm in an area at the moment. If you're enterprise, on the enterprise plan, then you get direct area access, which is a little bit different. But for pro plans, you click on the room and then you click on enable direct room access. And now you get that link and that's what you send to everyone. And now they'll enter their first name, last name, and email, and then they'll be in. Clear as mud.
Yep. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You can always go back and watch this recording as well.
Right.
Yes. Jeff.
Yeah, Irina, I just wanted to echo and recommend and give my stamp of approval. Like, I think that's the best. What Grant just showed you is the best way forward. The only reason that I use a single link, so I create an attendee. I just did this in the speech before I hopped on this call. I create one attendee that's called Awesome Student. That is the name of the attendee. And then I use the magic link to give to all of the students. And the reason why is I don't want every student pulling up Zoom on their own personal phone or Chromebook because it's going to crash the school. Like, there's not enough bandwidth to send video in a lot of schools to that many devices. But I do want them to access the dashboard so that they can ask questions. They can do the forms. They can put emojis on my backdrop with the floating emojis. So that's the only reason why I do that. So if that's not your scenario where, and of course, it sounds like you're using Zoom, I wouldn't recommend that. It's just a really fringe kind of random use case. I tend to find those in my work with schools where I have to kind of hack things a little bit.
Well, here is another scenario I was thinking about, and I think I did it once maybe. I did my summit, or I do podcast interviews. So when I have one-on-one with somebody and I schedule, that was another idea I got, that I could just use one link and send it to them, and they come only one person at a time, and they don't need dashboard really, unless I want to impress them with the Obvio dashboard. And I did during the summit, but now I just they can go straight to direct access room, right? They can just use this one link that I do, and then I don't need to resend all the time. It will be on the schedule. It will be right there. I think you were talking about that too. Maybe not. Maybe I just imagined it.
Yeah, I use it for meetings because I have
that's what you said.
Days a week, where I have back-to-back meetings. I need them recorded. I want them high quality, and then when people are in those meetings with me, I don't give them the direct access link. I want them to go to the dashboard, and the reason is the resources and the worksheets for our meeting are buttons on the dashboard. So instead of me going, I just dropped the worksheet in chat. Just a second while I send you the PDF, like, it all creates friction, right? And breaks flow. So if I have a meeting where I'm going to be sharing more than one resource, I won't drop it in Zoom chat. I'll have them join the meeting in Obvio, and then every button is a resource in order that we're going to go through. In my regular coaching clients, we get so much more done in meetings because I use the same meeting every month, is the same evaluation worksheet they're filling out. It's the same, like they know how to use Obvio and they know how to get into Zoom. And so we spend less time sharing links back and forth and people downloading and opening PDFs. They just click it and go. And so it's really efficient.
Well, with my podcast guests, they don't need any resources. My clients know how to use Obvio because they've done it for a long time. But I'm talking about new person who comes to me maybe twice. We will see each other, right? First initial consultation or conversation, and then the interview. So would that be good for direct access link and just have it one and not to go back and attendee and send it, and here is your personal link? I don't know what's the best practice here.
Do
I
they
do
need to
both.
access any resources, or are you just trying to get them into Zoom? Sorry.
No, just the Zoom because it's an interview.
Yeah, then direct access. Yep, that's good. They'll just appear in the room. You don't have to worry about watching for them in the waiting room. You show up ready to go, and they're going to, boom, instantly connect.
So that would work. That's one link for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
One thing to think about, which is why my hand is up and I'm jumping in.
Fine.
You need to set up your sign up sheet to brand to your brand, because when you send that direct access link, it's going to pull whatever's there, which means it will pull the Obvio branding and not your branding. So I think it's the sign up as you go down, you're setting it up. So set up that sign up sheet. I do it with a university. I literally send that one link out. They all come in. They put in their email. It is fantastic. Anybody can get in, and you are at the same time gathering who's entering. So if you know it's just going to be people you're sending to, it's great. It works. But I just want to direct you to that sign up setup so that you're branding it with your branding and not with.
I'm really feeling like a dinosaur, Grant. Honestly, what is sign up thing, brand? Can you explain, Tamara? Or Grant? Really, I was MIA for several months after my event. So yeah.
I can share if you want.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Go for it if you're happy to.
So this is my, I have to send a request.
Sorry, yeah, go for it.
So this is my link that people get. When they get it, they know they're going to the Tillis Art Center. They come in, they put their name in, and they join the room directly. So it says join room. But I think in order to get it to have this beautiful setup, I've got to go back to something that has Obvio. Hold on. Let's see. Can you see the Obvio screen now, or did I have to share it?
Yep. No, you're good.
Okay, cool.
You're good.
I was good. Hold, please.
You were good.
I couldn't remember what I shared, if I shared just the screen or the thing. So in here, this is where I got that direct link from. Is it here that I set it up? No, it is I think it pulls from the sign up.
Yeah, so, it's login page, sign up page. It's all
the same
theme. Yep.
So if you go down to design and you press sign up and you brand this page as your branding, that's what's going to pull when you send that direct link. So it will send them to this page. So that's just the other step that I wanted to guide you to, so that you're not sending a page that's branded with Obvio. It's branded however you want, and it's super easy to update it. I put a blue background and I put a logo. That's all I did. So that's what it's going to pull from. So I just wanted to the thing you're going to send them is that link. And that link is going to send them to something like this. And that's going to pull from that sign up thing that you have set up.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't realize about this yet. Perfect. Yeah. That's great.
Cool. Yeah, have a play around with that. They're the two options that you're thinking of. Sign up takes you to the dashboard, takes the attendee to the dashboard. Direct room access goes straight to Zoom and bypasses the dashboard. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Sweet. No worries. All right. Jeff.
Hey.
Find your question again. Okay. Yes. I just remembered. Anyway, I can't see it, but it was about the form responses. So, so there's not a way.
The lower third question.
Yeah, the lower third question.
Gotcha.
There's not a way currently to automatically copy over form responses into groups and tags, but there is ways of using form responses you've seen, right, as an option for filtering. So you can use it in labels. So you could create a label for someone based on a form response, and you can also create buttons based on form responses, right? So as in, it's essentially the visibility rules can be based on. Is that? I was going to say, is that something that you? I feel like, is that something you've forgotten? Because
well, I guess I talked with I think it was talked with Blue just very briefly about this, if I'm remembering right. So we're doing a free workshop on Friday. It is a workshop for school administrators. It's been marketed profusely as a workshop for school administrators. However, anyone that wants to learn our content has signed up for this thing. Yeah, and so one of the challenges I'm having is I want to have breakouts for them to discuss something, but if you're not a school principal, the activity is not going to be very relevant. And so I realized that that's going to be a bad experience for some. So my thought was to segment only school administrators talking to each other and then breakouts with a more general activity for the rest of the audience. I'm just not exactly sure from the tech end the best way to, parse those people out.
Yeah. I mean, I would totally do it as a form response. So you've already got, have an intake form on the, on the waiver step.
Yes.
So you know who they are. I would then create a label as to whether you make that as explicit that everyone knows now, when they're looking in Zoom, they can see that everyone, what their category is, or whether you're doing an emoji or something a little bit more obscure. When you go to create a breakout room, you just put that in the filter, and now you will only see those administrators, right? And you can, I mean, it's a little bit of fiddly work, but you will then only get the administrators into a breakout room.
Okay.
That would be the way I would do it currently.
Yeah, that sounds good. I was wondering if there was any way I was missing that was behind the scenes where they wouldn't see anything visual. I don't think it's a big problem or distraction. I was just curious if there was any other way I wasn't thinking of.
Yeah, not
Muddy
yet.
set a poll in Zoom here. Huh.
Well,
Muddy.
That is
a feature that they added.
Breakout rooms based on poll results.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is the label, essentially the form has to be submitted before they join Zoom, because when they join Zoom, that's the moment the label is added. Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
Yeah, it's our check-in form. So they're not able to get into the event at all unless they fill it out. Yeah. Cool. And I have a radio button. Are you a school administrator? Yes or no? And sort of that's going to be my filter. And then I have another like granular layer that's more just for data to know who's joining. And that's, what is your job title? So school administrator can be a lot of things. It can be at the district level, the school building level, then there's a handful of titles there. But yeah, Grant, I think that sounds perfect. Just using the attendee label that keeps it simple. And that's something I can teach my admin person just real quick on, okay, here's how you filter and do that. The person that's helping me behind the scenes doing some basic Zoom stuff isn't a typical like technician kind of person that I would work with. It's so it'll be keep it simple for them as well.
Yep. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I'll tease you with something that I'm playing with at the moment, Muddy. You can see this as well. So this is like
hand.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yeah. So the concept here is that you can assign breakout rooms based on tags and groups from Obvio data.
Yeah.
And then also if their hands raised or their videos on, you can, filter based on that too. And then there's also up here auto reassign, which means if someone leaves a breakout room, comes back to the main session, it'll auto push them back into the room that they were in. And then the idea of fill smallest room is someone joins during a breakout room session, just add them to the room with the least amount of people in it. It's very much
That's cool.
very much a prototype. Yeah. But it's functionally, it's working. And at some point I'll start playing around with it in some of these meetings. Because the key thing was actually listing all of the attendees and then going and getting their data from Obvio so that they're available to then filter on. And that's working. I'm just not sure of scale, which is often the issue with Obvio, is how that's going to go.
Incredible. I'd love to beta test that. I have a little visitor in the studio.
Super cool.
It's coming to sit with me here.
Nice.
But can you say hi? Say hi.
Hey.
This is Judah. All right. That is awesome. Judah. Yeah. Excited to see how that grows. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It actually is something. Yeah. That I think being a web app means that it actually does launch Zoom in the browser as a co-host, which works. So it renames the user and all of that. All of that's working great. So it's actually really close. It's hard to test these things, right? That are like, how do you test? You really have to have events where you get enough people, and probably like on a leap call where there's 60 people or so is a good start, where we can play around with it. But ultimately, I want to build that into a native Mac app, which means that then you can use that to be your contribution as well. So your video and audio in. So, but anyway, that was just a tease.
Very cool. Thanks for the peek behind the curtain.
This is going to be like, how's Marketplace coming along? It's going to be, how's Stagehand coming along? Do you like the name? I
love it. Yeah, Stagehand or Stage Manager, but then that's a little Mac copy, so I guess Stagehand is probably better.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't have any responsibility. It's a stagehand.
No, I'm the stage manager.
So if it breaks,
that's right. Exactly. That's right. Yeah, the SM. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. And I actually put it on the back burner a little bit, mostly because Blue poo-pooed it to start with, but because he was just like, just make it a Mac app. But I think it'll be very handy to have it cross-platform. So, nice. See you, Arena. All right.
And it sounds like the web app is going to be even easier, so it's a good place to start.
Well, it is easier. Yeah, it is easier, and it's already working to some degree.
And I understand the interest that Blue has because he's already needs to join the Max.
Yeah.
And so why have 2 users in each one? But like, if you have 2 users, you can do it sooner. So
yeah, well, anyway. And the other part of it, it's not really showing there either, is chat, sending chat out to a screen as well. So essentially you can create a single chat output as well. So, and then really the other part of it is redirect people based on chat. So in a large scale lobby, as an example, if someone's asking a question about finance, then auto assign them to the finance breakout room. That as an example. So it's really just the idea of an extra advanced breakout room controller that can scale across multiple meetings as well. So it's a concept. We've been thinking about it for years. So okay. I'll just double check the questions again. What do I do with those?
If you don't have questions, I have one easy one.
You ask me that while I'm looking for the questions anyway.
I did it on my Zoom, personal Zoom, but I couldn't find it in Obvio. How to set up the waiting room? If I want that direct access room, they go into Zoom, and I would like to have waiting room that I accept them without, usually they come in, right, without any sound, but for private meetings, I would like to wait for them to wait.
Sure. Yeah. So there's a once you start the meeting, the only difference with the way you've done it before with your own Zoom account is that it's defaulting to being turned on, right? In Obvio, it's defaulted to be off, but an in meeting setting, once you've started the meeting, the host tools, when you click the button at the bottom, it's host tools, and then there's an option that is called enable waiting room. That's it.
I couldn't find it. Was I clicking in the right place?
So you have to be the host or co-host.
Right. What's the name of on the bottom, right? It will be on the bottom. Which one?
Button's called host tools.
Okay.
And then it's enable waiting room. And then you can just turn that on.
And it will stay, right? Because I'm turning it on forever, for example, for that particular Obvio.
It'll stay on for that session. Yep. And then when
the session? So I cannot turn it on. Let's say I have specific Obvio set up only for interviews or meetings. Then what? Can I just have it and all the time have it and not to turn it on?
No. Every time you launch the meeting, you just enable waiting room. It's 2 extra clicks.
Too much work in America. We Americans don't work that much.
Because actually we are trying to avoid waiting rooms, right? With Obvio, the point is
right. With the events, you don't want waiting, obviously. Yeah.
No, we don't. And we want people to have a better experience than just sitting in a waiting room.
Right.
But I get it for your use case. It's fine.
Right. How about also the disable mute? Is that easy to find? Because people come to me and they always mute, and I have to tell them, you're muted. And again, it's not for the event, it's for personal stuff.
Place.
It's under participants, I think. Under participants more, then that's where you allow them to unmute themselves upon entry.
But is it also every separate meeting?
It's in both spots, yes.
Always.
Yes, it is. So it'll default.
What's wrong with Obvio?
You know what you can do? You can keep using your personal Zoom meeting, right? At this point, it's no different.
After so many years of using Zoom from the beginning, now I think I'm letting it go and focus on Obvio. I think that's a great idea. I'm having a brilliant idea here.
When you're using a direct access link, you're essentially just using a Zoom link anyway.
Right.
And at that point, you could just be using your personal Zoom account and set up the settings that you want to do and do it that way. The reason that we have direct access is in an event setting is that's how you might get your speakers in or that sort of thing. But if you want to do a standard Zoom meeting, then use a standard Zoom account and do all the settings you want. If you want to,
What Irina said she wanted was a way to get people's email addresses without sending them a sign up. And so that would be the reason to use Obvio and not your personal
Exactly.
account.
Does
Because
does
you
work.
want to sneakily get people's email addresses, which that's the way to do it. And go, oh, that's how you get in the room. You just put your email address in and you get in, and then you're collecting.
And also,
You
why
do
would I pay? Why would I pay for my Zoom if I'm basically everything I do right now on Obvio? And I do use Zoom for that waiting room, but really, there is
So
no need.
the cost of that for you is a couple of extra clicks each time you enter the
Right.
meeting.
Right. So what is
Right?
it? Do I want to work a lot or do I want to pay?
Exactly. It's a
I'm
couple of extra
joking,
clicks.
of course.
So
I don't
you'll
mind
see.
working.
So Tamara's absolutely right. In the at the bottom of the participants tab there's a couple of more options, which is specifically about mute all upon entry. Whereas allowing people to unmute themselves is in both places, right? So you can change it in the host tools, and you can change it in the more. I'll show you that one as well. Which is, you look in the chat, you'll see it here. So mute upon entry is always is defaulted on, because we definitely want that. And so then you can also do the waiting room there as well, by the way, but this is the participants tab. But yeah, you can't do the mute upon entry. The mute upon entry that's the only place you can do that, but that is default on, and it's a good practice to have that.
It is, but not for one-on-one.
That's a choice. I have it on all of my, even for one-on-ones.
I turn it off for a similar thing you're doing, because like I have like a group that just meets all the time. They want to come in and chat with each other, and I want them to be able to chat with each other. So if you want people to chat right away, then you just click both those things as part of your setup, and it does get easier to figure out where they are, because took me forever.
For my clients, I think for my regular clients, I think it's all the time they're not muted. They come in and they talk immediately. I think I didn't even pay attention. They just know what they're doing. But for new people, that's different. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Fair enough. Muddy was asking a question. He's gone. It's okay. Jeff, are you still around?
Just playing with a dinosaur. Sorry.
As you do.
Yes. He just got done with daycare. Yeah, is the next question up that I popped in, Grant?
Yeah. Thinking of offering Obvio to members. We talked through the best way to do that, as in people that want to use Obvio themselves.
Yeah. I was trying to think of, so I'm getting a lot of, just a moment, buddy. Just a moment. You go ask mommy, please. Sorry, a little redirection. So I have some folks that are very interested in Obvio, and then also wanting some support from me as we do events and stuff like that. And so I was just trying to think of what's the best way to do that. Of course, I could send them through the affiliate page, or I could also look at getting enterprise, and since we're working together, then inviting them to that, because I'm also hitting a ceiling with organizations and stuff. But I didn't know kind of how you prefer that folks navigate that, what other folks are doing. I just wanted to make sure that I was going about that the right way, and respecting how you guys have it set up and stuff as well too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for checking. I think that in general, while we don't have a clear, terms of service document, generally I think that the idea of enterprise would be when you are running events for other people, that you're part of that. I think where the line is where you're reselling, essentially, right? Like that would be if you were reselling to the point where they were just independently using your account in a way, and they have an organization. I think that would would start to be a bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bit of leeway there, right? And so what it sounds to me like is that enterprise could work, particularly because you've got this ongoing relationship. You're helping them, you're stepping through it, and part of it is that you're providing access for them to be able to use Obvio, and that they would have their own organization essentially.
Right.
And so if that could work for you, then that could work really well.
Okay. Yeah, it felt like it was a bit of a gray area. So I was like, let me ask
is,
and
yeah.
kind of figure out where this goes and stuff. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was something that was appropriate if it's, I'm working with these folks and such.
I think it totally is. Like, yeah, it sounds like you'd need to go to enterprise anyway to make that work.
Yeah, there
but also
wouldn't be any way to do that outside of that. And then since we're doing some events together too, my thought was if it's outside of my account, then am I managing their usernames and passwords and we're sharing, you know what I mean? It gets to be a little crazy at that point. So it's like, well, it'd be nice for me to have access and sort of admin it, but then still have silos where people can do their own thing as well.
Yeah. And I think that having an organization and then an admin role in the organization, they'll be able to add users, and so that would be that would work quite well. And then you've still got oversight of it and can sort of manage that. So I reckon that would work well. And then the point would be when you feel like a client or multiple clients are kind of getting to a point where they should just have their own account, then that would be the transition, and you would do the affiliate link and send it across, and now you're set.
Yeah, I thought of that as well. There may be folks that are not working with me anymore, or they hop out of the program, but they go, I'd still like to use Obvio, and I want to make sure that there's an exit path and a transition so they can still use the tool, even 100%. If they don't need the support. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
and
cool.
Of course,
that sounds really good.
And we can transfer organizations from different accounts, different owners too, right? So we can change an owner of an organization, and so they set up a new account. They're their own owner now, and now we can move their organization across, right? So that could be a great transition. So, I think
it's good to know.
Yeah, I think we want to work with you on that, right? And so it'll just be like, it should be a case where everyone wins. So, yep.
Yeah, there's been, as you know, I've found some fringe use cases and how I use it. And so there's been some folks leaning in that want to do that. So I'm like, okay, you're going to need support from me to learn what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. But then also I'd love for those folks to be able to access these calls for, I don't want them to be fully dependent on me, and I want them to be able to be a part of this community. So it sounds like a really good way to kind of go about it. So thank you for talking that through. Appreciate that.
That's fine. Yeah. And look, at any team members, as broad as that term may be, are welcome to join this meeting. So anyone that's using Obvio can do that. And so even if they were still in your account, but you had a number of people that wanted to come along to this, that would be totally fine. So, yeah.
Very good.
Sweet. Did you have one more? Oh, just your Pixel. I've got Mike looking at that now. Essentially, he's
okay. Great.
In this next little window, he's having a look to see. I haven't tracked it too much, but having the Lumio videos is super helpful, and so I'll get a response from him, whatever that may be. It might be asking for some more info, or it could be that we can shuffle things around, or whatever it needs to be, but it's moving forward. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, really appreciate your attention on that. There was one more piece I wanted to talk through that we sort of stumbled upon that we're like, oh boy, this there's a potential feature request here that's going to come up. So
yeah, okay.
One of the limitations we had is we're running meta ads to Obvio, and it was funny because he wasn't seeing the conversions due to the pixel problem, but I'm like, no, like we exceeded our attendee goal for signups, and he's like, oh really? Like send me the data, right? So he was pleasantly surprised. One of the challenges we had though is I go, hey, I said to our ads manager, I'm going to promote this event to our email list, and what I did not think through is they're going to hit that same purchase page, that same thank you page, which now means our return on ad spend metrics are all messed up because that was warm traffic and we're trying to measure cold. So I wondered if you guys had considered this and sort of wanted to put the scenario in front of you. I would love the opportunity to, you can of course create different ticket types, but the challenge is I then don't have a sales page, or I don't have a purchase page to send people. So let's say Tamara, for example, is coming to the event. She's never heard of us before, but she would then see 2 ticket types, right? And then it's like, okay, well, she's not going to know, do I pick warm traffic or cold traffic? The other way to handle
Right.
that is if Irina is part of our community and knows us well, but wants to come to the event, I could send her just to the ticket, but then she's missing all of the sales page data, right? To sort of enroll her into the event. I'd love to be able to duplicate a purchase page and then segment that.
Wouldn't the pixel would see the URL parameters, right? Can you not in your email marketing create a slightly different? You can add whatever you want onto the URL parameter. You just make it up. Meaning,
really? See, I'm not familiar with the pixel world very well. That's where my
my
knowledge stops.
So, and I'm not really either. What I do know is in kind of the tracking world, so much of it is actually about what's happening in the URL, because you can have redirects or tracking tokens that are tracking not only where they came from but who they are, to pass that through. Now, Pixel is essentially doing that hidden, right? It doesn't need to push that to the URL because it's got Facebook cookies that it already knows that they've been on Facebook and now they're sitting on this page, and the two things are talking because they've passed the data across. But URLs, it's also going to be tracking, well, they ended up on this page. So in my thinking, in your email marketing, you would put a random string, whatever you want to do, in the URL. If you're not doing a ticket, if you are doing a ticket, you've already got a bit of URL, parameter, but you can put an ampersand and then put something else. And that could be 1 = 2. It doesn't have to be anything specific.
Yeah.
It's just what it means is that in the tracking that Pixel is doing, it's a different page.
I see. Yeah, you're tricking the system.
Yeah. So now you're filtering based on what the actual address was. And if the address was included 1 = 2, that's come from email. And so we can now, separate out that data. That's so
simple. I love how simple of a solution that is. I love that. Okay, cool.
So I would try that and talk to the ads manager about that, because in my mind that would work, because it is tracking pages, right? And so if you're and that technically is a different address, and so it can be email = 1, or whatever you want to do that makes it super easy. You can do that, and so that's how you could track it.
Good deal. All right, cool.
You could
easy solution
you could also put depending on where you're sending the emails from, you could also add like an ID, like a user ID identifier.
Mm-hmm.
And now you also see that they clicked through, and you can you can even track more about who actually clicked through, so that's something else too.
That's great.
Cool. I think that was your questions you posted.
Yeah, I think that was it. We talked through the different pieces there.
Great. Anyone else? We've got no other questions posted.
If no questions, I'll ask.
Yep. What have you got?
I have no problem coming up with questions. Again, back to my topic, because I want to get the strategic advice. Now it's not technical, but just strategic thing. So if people, they come to the community, they already ask to be accepted, but it is free community. So they accepted, they're inside this community, and I don't have a sign up for them, right? So they're just in the community. Is that still good to just post a link even to Obvio to sign up from that community? Or I still should create maybe some sign up landing page with active campaign and say, hey, sign up here, because we'll have periodically, we will have things on another platform. What would be just market from the marketing perspective?
I mean, I think that they have put their email somewhere to be able to access school, right? Because they can get notifications.
But I think the emails belong to school, not to me. I think. I'm not
You can't
sure,
access
but
them?
it looks like I don't think I haven't checked yet. I just signed up.
That seems odd if it's your community.
Maybe I didn't see it yet. I can't say right now. But so far I didn't see it.
I would think that if there's value to be had from joining the community, then you get their email address before that. And it sounds like they're going to be entering that into school anyway. And so
they are entering it to the school because they create an account for school. But again, it's schools, not mine. Mine is just a room inside the building of school.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be asking.
I mean, it will be on a regular basis. So maybe that's what's the best way, to just sign up one time because I'm taking you to, because I need breakout rooms. They have the live feature. They just rolled it out, and you know how it's a brand new thing. So it doesn't have breakout rooms yet.
I see.
And Obvio is, in my opinion, still better. So I'm proud to use it on Obvio because my dashboard is pretty. I just like it. So I'm partial to Obvio.
Right. Yeah, I see. I was just having a little look at school.
I know someone who's using school and they're using their Obvio dashboard to get into their meetings, and then they're putting a button on their Obvio dashboard to their school. So you can use your dashboard as a hub so that they can get to Obvio from school and school from Obvio. But your Obvio, like if you're having a class session, you're going to use Obvio as your classroom, then then you can think of Obvio, your dashboard, as a hub to your school account. You just create a button, and then when you link it to your school front page.
How do you link it? Through Zapier?
You can just link to the web page that your school account is. So if you go to school, because school is web-based. So if you go to your school homepage and you look at your URL, then that's going to be the URL you would make a button to. So you can use so like if you just think that people want to get into places in 3 different ways. So however if they're on their dashboard, then they need to go to their school account. They just have a button that says go to school here. It clicks there and it brings them to that page. It may bring them to their login page or whatever, but Obvio is just a web page. So, in that regard, you can create buttons and you could link them all over the place. You could link it
just.
to your sales page. It's
Not
not
just
just,
a website.
but I mean, there's nothing like crazy about it that can't your audience. Like I have a website. My website is branded exactly like my my community's Obvio page. And so they don't know that they're not going to another page in Obvio when they send them to a resource library or a, you know, a forum page from Obvio. They just click on that link and it goes there. They're leaving Obvio. They don't know. Nobody knows anything about the web. So from your point of view, you just want to make sure that your community is able to get to where they need to go, no matter where that's going to be. If it's going to be a Facebook group, you put a little Facebook link on your Obvio page and it takes them to their Facebook group. So Obvio is unlimited. And I always think of it as a perfect hub for that kind of thing, so that you're really only sending people to Obvio and they're going to everywhere else from that hub space. Then you're giving them one link. That's their magic link. That's going to get them into their meetings. That's going to get them into their dashboard. Their dashboard gets them wherever else you want to send them. So because I love Obvio and I love being able to send one link out and send through Obvio's email, I use that as the hub and they can get to whatever they need to from their hub.
All right, because I can see it's a dinosaur thing. I'm not getting. I need to get back.
Because here's the thing: you have to go to Obvio, you've got to go to Zoom, you've got to go to school, you've got to go to whatever Discord or whatever groups you have your people in. So it's just as easy to add buttons on Obvio. It's probably easier to do it through Obvio than it is through school. So because school won't even give you their email information. So at least Obvio would collect their email information and would collect all of that you need from them. So I would use Obvio as your hub. And when they've got it, and on your hub, you have your email, all the places that they need to go. And whenever you need them to get anything, you just send them their Obvio link. Here's your dashboard link. I've given you a little note on the dashboard. And then you need to go to school. They go to the dashboard, they can go to school. So you're training everybody to just use Obvio as their hub space to go to all the other places that you want them to go. Zoom, school, Facebook, wherever else you have. So I
understand this concept, but how do they get, because when I promote it, they go to school and they sign up there. So they enter the school. So they start in school. If
so
you're talking about starting on Obvio, right? But if they start in school,
then I would say, thank you for signing up for school. This is amazing. I have added you to our special group and I'm giving you one link that will get you everywhere. And this is your new link. You're just going to go here all the time. And then they go there, it takes them to their school. It takes them to all the places from that one hub. And you just tell them, you're like, congratulations, you got this amazing dashboard so that you can get to all of the places you need to go. And if you always go here, you'll always get everywhere else.
You just unlocked an amazing Obvio.
That's what I would do, because then you're not trying to because here's the thing, you have to like train everybody how to do all the things, because not everybody knows how to do all the things. So if you only train them to one place and then you go here, you're not the customer service person for everything. You're the customer service person to send them to one place. And then if they need more help, you can be like, hey, click on the button at the top and I'll meet you in a meeting and then I'll help you. Like I can help you by hand. So that's what I do. That's what I would suggest, because you have a lot more flexibility in the way that Obvio is designed than the way that the other places are designed. That's why Jeff has done crazy things with it. That's why I do crazy things with it, because it's just it gives us the tracking information we need. It gives us the flexibility that we need. Jeff has got I'm going to steal that, Jeff, that awesome student one, because I think that's so smart. That is so smart to be able to give students something that without collecting anything from them. I love that so much. But like,
there's so many privacy and all that.
Sometimes absolutely. I didn't even think of doing that, but that is amazing. And I also have a use case for that. So thank you for that. I will be stealing that.
Thank you very much.
No stealing, only sharing. I really appreciate this community. Like, I feel like every call you attend, you're like, oh, there's 3 more ideas of like, I would never think to use that way. Like, I love that about this. So Shout
Totally.
out to Grant, you and Blue for just continuing to do this every Wednesday. Like
Yeah,
this support is just unmatched with any. I mean, what other company is doing this every week?
right.
Office hours for 2 hours? Seriously, like the value
Mhm.
in just the friendships and relationships built here, just unmatched. I don't know of anybody else doing this. So thank you
Mhm.
for putting the time in
Yeah,
and
you're
creating the
welcome. I
space.
mean, I think I think it actually it seems funny, but it's like it's easier to do this than to create a whole bunch of support documents and that sort of stuff.
We do
It's
still
like,
want
True.
those too, but
right, I know,
So still would be
I know.
cool.
Yes.
I'm willing to help you write them.
I've
That
noticed. Sorry. I've noticed that because of my so many years I've been here and constantly being on the call, except this MIA time, I've learned so much just being here. You think you just sit here, listen to everybody's questions, but you're learning, really learning. And of course I fell in love with tech as well here. So that's amazing. And that's what I feel right now. I feel like, oh, I forgot everything because for several months I wasn't here. What do I do now? I don't understand anything. Yeah. But when you get every week, then you again back into that feeling. So it's good.
yeah.
I'll
Well,
say
yeah.
as well, once you start using Obvio for meetings, it's just like anything. When you put in the work and you've got the reps in, all of a sudden events become easier because you just know how to navigate it, right? And if there's
Mm-hmm.
been a change to the platform at all, you're not discovering it before an event where stakes are higher.
Right.
You're logging in a few minutes early with your cup of coffee before a meeting. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, they call it direct access link now. Oh,
Right.
it makes so much more sense. All right. Well, when the event comes up, I know that. And you just kind
Yeah.
of file it away. And it's just the routine of getting in there. Like I would
Yeah.
encourage you to do that because I feel like things are so intense around events, but if you're using it for meetings, you're just picking up these little
Oh yeah.
things that all of a sudden when the event comes up, you don't feel like I have to learn Obvio. You're like, oh, I see you, twice a week or I see you every day. And it's no big lift anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and then
I'm
you
on
can really
Abio
think about,
several weeks, several days a week. I'm all the
yeah,
time on
it's like,
Abio.
what do you're able to think about, like, what do I want my event to do? Okay, well, now I know how to do that through Obvio, or what are the things that I want to try to get it done. And that's been like the big thing. I know people, when I talk to them, they come and they're like so frustrated. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, calm down. What do you want your audience to feel? Like, let's start there. What do you
Mhm.
want your attendee to feel? You want them to feel less friction of having to go to all these other places? Great, you use it as a hub. You want them to not have to have a magic link that they lose? Great. You're going to send them to a direct link. They can go there a million times and keep adding their email in it, whatever. It's going to get them into that room every single time. And if
Yeah.
that's the kind of event that's controlled that works for it, perfect. If you're selling money, no, don't use that. That's to get people in at the last minute when they're like, I can't get in. You're like, here, have the freaking link. You
Yeah.
know, like that's the backup link for the few people who still cannot Zoom.
That's right. Yeah, I think one thing that's helpful, we often sort of say that Obvio is a temporary membership site.
Mhm.
And so some people, like we're talking about here, are using it as more of an ongoing, membership site, and that's okay, particularly when it's partnered with a CRM. And so the,
Right.
the the reason that I say that is that if you were trying to use Obvio and sending all the emails from Obvio, one key difference there is that people can't unsubscribe.
Right.
There is no unsubscribe option because it's a transaction email. It's not a marketing email. And so we hit this every now and again where people use Obvio for marketing, um, and it's a problem for everyone because we want to continue to always do transaction emails. It's a transaction. You've signed up, whether it's free or paid.
Right.
You've made an action, and you're expecting to receive interaction about that particular thing. And so when it's based around an event, that's easy. It's like you send a bunch of
Right.
emails that go out to say, yeah, the event's about to start, whatever it is. But if you're then also constantly using that on an ongoing weekly basis or whatever, that's a marketing email. That's not a transaction email. And so when you partner that with a good CRM, that becomes the tunnel that people come through,
Right.
rather than funnel that they fall down. But it is because the part of the very first thing, and that's what we're talking about for you, Irina, is I think the very first thing that they're doing is they sign up in ActiveCampaign for you. So now you've got their details. Now you can send. Now you can auto set up their Obvio. Now you've got a great place to send them, as Tamara laid out beautifully, is the idea that the dashboard becomes like a portal to everything else. And so it's just, and a few people are doing that. I mean, Leap does that, right? Leap has that main event dashboard, which links off to all these other things. And so it's a great way to do it, particularly when you're using Zoom regularly. Join Zoom right from there as well. Bang, there you go. But remember, there's the school account. Go off here. Go have a look at there. So yeah, I think that's a
but
great.
You do want to do what Grant is saying. You want to, like, for me, when they get an Obvio link, they have opted in about 4 other places. So they're like apps. There's only like one group that is like a different meeting type of thing, but it's a very controlled group. And there's conversation with those people outside before they've gotten that direct access link. So I always think of Obvio as a sacred space. Like, I have a writing retreat. The only people who are in the writing retreat, they are also part of my CRM, but they have self-selected to sign up to that writing retreat. And for the entire year, they are like the sacred group who's going to get stuff through Obvio. I still use my CRM to the general list. And there's still about 30 or 40% of the general list who's never signed themselves up, so they don't get anything from Obvio. Yeah. So if you have that,
I don't use for marketing. No,
yeah.
Obvio is only for the events and for my clients.
But it's like the extra for like the people who are already in your school. They're already in. You're like, hey, here's what I've given. Now you're part of it because they've opted in. Then you're not.
They will be
like
they will be a separate group that's entering the Obvio. Yeah.
I have been. I was just looking at school. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's an easy way to export emails, but you can use Zapier with school, and it can pull out the membership data. So that's
really
another way.
Yeah. How would you? What would be the command in Zapier? I don't know Zapier. I used it once long time ago, and I didn't care. Obvio integrates with ActiveCampaign. I'm happy. That's plenty.
I'm gonna post a link and then back away because it's got nothing to do with Obvio. But but yeah, connecting school and ActiveCampaign. It's funny to me that they've got an example of a form questions in school, and one of the questions is, what's your best email address?
Right.
Which is weird. So now that's the question that they're sending through and then sending back to Zapier.
Interesting.
But then further down, you actually do see create a contact in HubSpot as an example, and part of the data that's sent is email. So,
all right.
So looks like you might be able to get it out, but it has to be on the pro level of school as well to be able to do all that.
Right. So. Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting.
Anything else before we wrap it up?
Yep.
I did see that. I don't have questions. We have little group where I could ask questions.
I see the
yeah. If you don't mind, I'm just working on this now. I just have not gotten to where I figured it out yet. I have an offer for an event on Friday. We're going to be doing some quarterly training sessions, and we're giving people the option to purchase all 4 sessions for a bundled price or purchase individually. So I was thinking I would, just create the bundle one first, so it falls on the top and catches the eyes. People scroll down the page, and then do the individual sessions and sort of by month. That would all just be 4 separate tickets then, right? Or I guess 5 separate tickets, because the bundle would be the 5th option. Just trying to think of a way to do that cleanly. But maybe that wouldn't work, because then people would either need to buy just one or all 5, right? There's not a way to, there's not an add to cart. Just trying to think of how to make that a cleaner experience. I can use an external sales page. My thought was just to try to keep it on Obvio, because then they're automatically registered into the event, and I can tag which session they've purchased and then do visibility rules based off of that.
They don't come through a CRM, as in, you're not necessarily connected that way, because they've come through a purchase page.
No, my plan was just the event on Friday, I would have an offer button that would then take them to the marketplace page, purchase page for this.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's an add-on which we haven't fully implemented, but that's the concept of particularly the idea of like essentially an upsell or even a digital product or anything really. But it was the idea that you've already bought a ticket, or even if it's free, well, now I want you to buy another ticket, essentially,
Right.
and so that's what we're adding is that add-on ability to say, sign me up for the high ticket offer or whatever it is, and just get their money. And this is where it's just such a gray area, because I really think that we've built Marketplace for the absolute entry level where you don't have a CRM, because the right tool to use is a CRM. And it's where everyone is going to end up, particularly with ongoing work, right? Occasionally we get someone that does, exactly. I mean, and high level and whatever all do this type of stuff as well. And so my tendency is to say that if they haven't come through a CRM, or you haven't tracked that at all, that I would use URL parameters and pre-populate a sales page. And so when they click on the dashboard, first name, last name, email is populated in the sales page.
Right.
Which is different for every platform, but generally they have some way of doing that, of passing that once again through the URL parameters, and populating that, just to make that a little less friction, because you already know who they are.
Yep.
So you might as well have that data there. And again, it also tracks it too, right? A good CRM is going to show you those stats to show you someone did click on the link to do it. And it's almost like an abandoned cart then. You've got a pretty good warm lead of someone who's gone and looked at the offer, to follow them up. And so it's all those extra features that is just not Obvio's use case. And I'm constantly thinking about, what features do we need to just get someone across the line? Like, as in, it's like, I'm not ready for a CRM, but I want to do an event and I want to charge $50 for it. And I'll get the list, and that'll get the whole thing rolling. And now I can buy a CRM and get started. But I'm just not quite ready for that. And that's where, that's the key idea for Marketplace was, if you had no other tools, you can use it standalone. But I think that 98% of our users are using it with a CRM, which is the more ongoing, process. And so in your use case, as much as we do want to do that, because in the example I just gave, someone's just got their $50 event going, they've sold 10 tickets, and they now want to sell those 2 high ticket offers. We want to give them the ability to do that in Obvio, and to be able to have a little, add on, click this button, away it goes, and now they get some balloons that appear on the dashboard, right? Like all of that process makes sense that they've signed up. So yeah, I'm speaking on both sides of my mouth, really. For me, I kind of feel like it's a CRM thing to do, a bit more of a process for you. But I do see the value in it as an add-on purchase.
Yeah. The thing I love about Obvio, of course, is then everything from that event. It's I'm going to use the word silo again, but it's in its own silo. It's got its own thing. We can connect it to other things, but if I need, like, I have a couple team members that are logging in and pulling metrics and looking at numbers and salespeople, and so sometimes sending. There's some people that are tech savvy and they can log into the CRM and they know exactly how to navigate that. And then there's other folks that they're like, if I go into Obvio, I know this is only event related stuff, and so it's nice to be able to send them in there.
That's
they
fair
do their
enough.
export and they go, okay, this is everybody from the event. Here's everything I need, and it's no extra data either. It's just they work from that.
Yeah. That is.
But I think from the purchase, because of how it needs to be, the purchase options, it's going to force me to, like Kajabi or something, set up a traditional checkout there and then pop them over to Obvio.
I think so. But yeah, you could look at the passing the URL parameters, because why not? Why not pre-populate it for them? And then they can always change it, because that's the thing too. Is it's like, oh, I do want to sign up, but not with this email. It needs to be this other email, or right? That sort of stuff. So having it clearly listed there is helpful, I think.
That's great. Cool. Thank you.
Sweet. No worries. Anyone else?
Sadly, no questions.
All access for TVE came and went. I saw it. I was logged in. I could see it flashing away. They were chatting away, and then it disappeared. And it was about an hour or something. So,
are you all coming to TVE, everyone?
I'm going to TVE, but I'm not all access. Or leave. I'm an interloper.
I'll probably log in to watch Barry give the offer. I don't know that I'll be able to attend much. Yeah,
Barry's birthday is on
week of virtual
17th.
I'm going to use the time to do the coding for my other virtual on Sunday. It's good to have it in the background while I'm trying to make sure everything's good.
Totally.
I think I've been to every TV except one. I started with number one. I didn't go to second, and I went through all. Today
Jeff and I think we're in the same room in TVE one.
Well, there you go.
Oh, wow. So yes,
because I signed up for your class, which was amazing. That's how you were one of the people who started me on this expensive path. Thanks.
That's my fault. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember you came to the
We
class.
never did our one-on-one just because I was at that point was so confused. But
see,
we'll do our one-on-one
in
later.
my CRM somewhere that if she calls, she's got a credit for. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Yes,
I may just do that.
That was wild. Yes, let me know.
We were in the first group.
Always here to help.
Yeah, I was there too. Grant, were you there too? And number one?
Was.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you coming on going to this one, the 10th?
Yeah, off and on. It'll be
Obvio.
One of the advantages of having access to the TVE.
Oh, really? You're not buying the ticket? You didn't pay for the ticket?
It's not bad.
I sneaks in the back door as a teammate.
Are you serious? No.
What I mean is I can watch.
Access?
I have more than all access because I can watch the recordings after the day finishes.
Imagine that.
Can scrub through it.
In my afternoon event today, there was a kid with red hair that looked a little old. I think he's sneaking into everybody's event.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I attend everyone.
Grant's like, let's go to.
Yeah.
Grant just pops in.
Come to any of my events, Grant.
I don't do that. I don't do that. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Cool. Whenever you join us again.
Nice, very nice seeing everyone. It was a pleasure. Really.
See you too. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.